I've been living with ghosts. Everywhere that I go, wanting me to come. I've been living with ghosts. Got me here by the throat, wanting me to come.
Hello there guys, this is Alex here, bringing you part 13 of What If Deku Was the Familiar of Zero. So, where we last left off, Class 1A, Class 1B, and the teachers were told the legend behind of the Void Users and their familiars, by none other than the Pope Vittorio himself. But once reality hit the students from Class 1A, they realized that the 6 weeks of training would be doubled into 12 weeks, or rather 3 months. Class 1B students were regretting their decision on joining them. Izuku saying, "Alright then, are you guys ready to go through hell?" Kaminari saying, "Midoriya, please reconsider, don't kill us in the process." Mineta saying, "Yeah, Midoriya, it's gonna be 3 months, you don't have to work us to death." Izuku saying, "Guys, you do realize that I'm doing it for your own good. And don't worry, you'll have your breaks since we have 3 months to work with, and not to mention you need training in another department. But first things first." Giulio saying, "What are you planning, Izuku?" Izuku saying, "I think we're going to go over the same training we previously did, so we can bring Class 1B students up to speed, while I see if I can manage to fix the Zero Fighter. As for Eri, I would have to ask Aizawa-sensei to help her control her quirk, as she uses it against a tree or a plant. As for you, Giulio, why not help Koji Koda? He's got a quirk similar to your power as Windolf." Giulio, visibly interested, "Oh wow, that's quite interesting. I never knew it could be possible. Very well then, I'll do my best." Katsuki butting in, saying, "Oi nerd! Don't you forget about our deal." Izuku saying, "Don't worry, Kachan. And besides, once I get the Zero Fighter up in the air, then we can focus on making you stronger." Katsuki scoffing, "You better or else." Izuku making the announcement to his guest, saying, "Alright guys, so here's how training will commence." Eri tugging on Izuku's shirt. Do I have to do the same training as them?" Izuku, patting her on the head, would say, "Oh, Eri, your training will be different. With Aizawa-sensei's help, you need to learn how to control your quirk." Eri, a bit sad, would say, "Okay." Izuku saying, "Eri, don't be sad. I promise that once you've learned to control your quirk, it will be a lot easier for you to enjoy life to the fullest." Eri is still sad, and would say, "I know, but what if it goes out of control again? What then? I don't want to hurt anyone else." Izuku saying, "Eri, I know you're afraid, which is why Aizawa-sensei will be the one training you, because his quirk can erase yours." Eri would start sobbing, saying, He can erase my quirk?" Izuku saying, "Yes, Eri, he can erase your quirk, so if anything goes wrong, he'll stop you before anything bad can happen." Eri would stop crying and sobbing, but still having watery eyes, would say, "Really?" Izuku smiling at her, "Indeed. And you know what?" As Izuku dries up her tears, Eri would be visibly confused and say, "What?" Izuku kneeling to her height, "Do you remember what Louise told you and she mentioned it was supposed to be a secret?" Eri would say, "You mean about you two being my new mama and papa?" Izuku smiling, saying, "Yes, if you manage to control your quirk during our time here, I'll be your new papa, and Louise your new mama. How does that sound?" Eri hugging on Izuku ever so tightly and tearing up a bit, saying, "Thank you." Everyone watching the scene felt happy for Eri. Kirishima tearing up as he would say, "Izu bro, that's so manly. I'll follow you." In regards of their training, they'll do the same training regimen they did in the anime, but it would be more intense and more targeted towards their weakness, so it wouldn't be as problematic in the long run. Eri's training is going to be focused on control by using her quirk on biological life, or rather plants, since she's still young, and not to mention her quirk is dangerous. Izuku went to the garage, where the Zero Fighter rested. He worked on the plane, and after what seemed to be hours, Izuku finally got it to start. Izuku was satisfied with what he was able to do. He started it and gave it a test drive to make sure that everything was as it was supposed to. He flew the plane into the air, catching everyone's attention as Izuku flew off into the distance. A while later, he was back and he landed the plane, and he was very happy with the fruits of his labor, but realized he needed fuel, so he made a mental note to go and get some from Mr. Colbert back at the academy. Stained in oil and grease, and headed towards the group. On his arrival, he found them half dead on the ground, confusing Izuku. Vlad would explain why they are on the ground and call them lazy, for they couldn't endure Vlad's training regimen. Izuku looks around. He sees Yosetsu training with one of the knights that was instructing him to use a spear, and Endeavor was training with Shoto. Izuku went in search for Luis. Once inside, he was shocked to see Queen Henrietta there, studying as if she was a student. Izuku saying, "Your Majesty, what are you doing here?" As Henrietta would say, "Oh, hi there, Izuku. Principal Nezu has been teaching me politics ever since you last came here." Izuku saying, "Oh, I see." Principal Nezu continued teaching Queen Henrietta, while Izuku and Luis used the portal to bring Inko and Night-Eye along, with the addition of Mirio, for he was present when Izuku asked Night-Eye. Everything until the day of the meeting was mostly focused on training. Night-Eye and Mirio were brought up to speed with what was going on, and Night-Eye saying, "Although I heard of your deeds, this still surprises me." Mirio saying, "Yeah, and not to mention that the school knows that you're at an off-campus property. They'd freak out if they knew it was off-world entirely." Izuku laughing nervously. "Yeah, freak out." Then, the week before the meeting was given, so the students would get some fancy wear for the party, which got Eri very excited for she can experience shopping. In Izuku's mansion, Izuku would say, "All right, everyone, listen up. We have 1 week until we need to go to Romalia. Therefore, we need to give you all a makeover. Originally, me and Louise would have been the ones taking care of the expenses, but Queen Henrietta insisted being the one buying you some formal wear as a gift." As Mineta would say, "But couldn't we go and get our formal wear back at home?" Louise would say, "But wouldn't that ruin the experience?" Momo would say, "Indeed, I for one would like to go shopping in another world." Kendo saying, "Yeah, me too. And besides, I think we can kind of stand out too much with our regular clothes." All Might saying, "What about me? Do they do custom made?" Izuku saying, "All Might, you and my mom will go with Luis's parents." Inko saying, "Why? Why can't I go with you?" Luis would say, "Mother, my parents insist that I take you with them." Everybody was shocked at the statement, except Aizawa and Nezu, while Katsuki is confused. Mina would say, "Huh? Now that I think about it, Agnes mentioned the two of you acting like a father and son. Could it really be?" Katsuki raising an eyebrow, as he would say, "Sorry, All Might, I don't want to be rude, but Auntie Inko's dating a Toshinori Yagi, although he isn't much to look at." The teachers, Nezu, Izuku, and Luis, and Inko included, started to laugh. Katsuki visibly angry. "Why are you all laughing?" All Might saying, "Simple young Bakugo, because I am Toshinori Yagi," showing off his ID. Katsuki visibly speechless. "You? But you're injured. What the fuck is going on?" All Might laughing still. "When you saw me before, I can alternate my form due to an injury that almost took away my hero career, but thanks to Izuku and a potion he gave me," Izuku stating that Momoransi made. All Might would say, "Yes, the potion that she made, and that Izuku gave me. My injury was healed up, and I have no longer need to return into that other state. And since we're not in Japan, or rather in our world, for that matter, it makes it easier for me to do stuff without any major consequence or in total secrecy." And I just said that out loud, didn't I? Nezu saying, "Indeed you did. But I don't think it should lead to any problems back home, and I'm sure that the students wouldn't mind, considering a relationship is hard for a hero, especially if a pro has a relationship with a civilian partner, considering that they are the most vulnerable to the pro's enemies. And one wrong step could cost not just one, but a lot of lives in the long run." Aizawa, visibly bored, would say, "That's why us heroes tend not to have any relationships." All Might saying, "Although, what Aizawa said is true, if heroes do find love, that love becomes the source of their strength, therefore giving them the push they need to succeed." Louise saying, now I'm confused, as she starts muttering. Does that mean that what Izu told me? Having flashbacks to all the times Izuku acted heroically from day one, and would say, Izu. Izuku, visibly confused, would say, huh? What's wrong, Louise? Louise saying, Izu, now that I think about it, when I first summoned you here, and all those times that we were in danger, but you always chose to put yourself in harm's way to keep me safe, even though it meant that you could have gotten hurt because of me. I think now I finally get why you did it. Giving Izuku a foxy grin, and a look that implies, I know your secret. Izuku, visibly weirded out, would say, Louise, why are you giving me that look? Louise, walking up to Izuku, would say, if I were a guessing girl, I'd say that you had feelings for me from that moment onwards, didn't you? Izuku smiles and leans in. What makes you say that? What were the words you used for the summoning? I seem to have forgotten. Louise, in the mood and forgetting that they're being watched, will say, well, I did ask for a divine, handsome, wise, and powerful familiar. Izuku, leaning in closer, again forgetting that they were being watched, would say, instead of a familiar you ended up with a husband. The two were inches away to kiss, but they were brutally interrupted by Principal Nezu clearing his voice, which brought the two back into reality. Nezu, now, you two can show your affection behind doors, not in public. The girls were enjoying the romantic scene play out, even Katsuki. Katsuki's inner monologue. Damn those idiots, because of you now I want to read some romance novels. Eri, witnessing the scene unfold next to Aizawa, would say, Sensei, is this what happens at every happily ever after? Aizawa, visibly bored, would say, yes. Izuku and Louise were embarrassed because they forgot that they were talking about and heading out and getting some formal wear for the party in Romalia. Izuku, stuttering, would say, okay, what was I saying? Louise, visibly flustered, would say, my parents wanted your mom and All Might, so they can, Izuku, still stuttering, would say, oh yeah, as I was saying, yes, Mom, All Might, you'll be going with Louise's parents. For the rest of you, you'll be divided into groups and taking turns. In this case, Louise and Tifa will take the girls and Eri, then guys 1B, Vlad, Aizawa, and Nezu will go with Saito in Class 1A. Mirio and Idai are with me. Louise would say, Izu, are you sending them with Saito is a good thing? Izuku saying, yeah, you're right, it could cause problems. Saito would say, hey, what's that supposed to mean? Izuku saying, Saito, it's not because I don't trust you or anything, but the issue is the people, if you were there, people will think you're up to no good. Saito would say, I see. In that case, I'll keep company with the group that stays behind. To make the shopping experience short, they did as they planned, and they all got formal wear and headed for Romalia the day before the meeting, and Pope Vittorio welcomed them with open arms, while Giulio escorted them to where they would be staying. Time skipped to the meeting. Saito and Tifa kept company with the gang, while Izuku and Louise were with Queen Henrietta of Tristane, Queen Charlotte, aka Tabitha of Gallia, Pope Vittorio of Romalia, and the leaders of the Elven Kingdom and Germania. For the most part, everything went smooth. The Elven leader would say, if I may, me and my country must apologize to the one known as Izuku, or rather Gandalf. Izuku would say, me? There's no need, The Elven leader would say, but we must. If there's any hope for alliances with our countries, first we must apologize for our actions. We were blinded for what King Joseph of Gallia did to Ridashal, that we never consider that humans aren't the same. Izuku saying, like I said, there's no need. Besides, I would have done the same in your place. The Elven leader would say, you are much too kind, and to repay your kindness, I must tell you the whole story. A cloaked man wearing a mask approached us, telling us news of Bidashal's death. We were enraged, but the cloaked man said that it was you, and that you mercilessly killed one of our own. Then you escaped with Bidashal's niece, Lacuna, and a young one named Ari. We thought the worst would happen, but then, when Bidashal himself clarified everything, Izuku would say, you said a cloaked man, and you said he was wearing a mask. Why would he blame me? Izuku looked at Louise. She shrugged, not knowing the answer. He looked at Henrietta, then Tabitha and Vittorio, but they too shrugged off, not knowing the answer. As the Elven leader would say, With all honesty, I too am at loss. But by the tone of his voice while speaking your name, he was angry, and I could feel the resentments in his words. So that is why I thought that his words were true. Izuku would say, I see, but regardless on who he might be, if he's after me, he should have thought things through because I shall not fall. The final matter for the alliances continued on, and they finally reached an agreement, and thus the alliance was formed. Later that evening, every important people gathered in a massive ballroom, and they were waiting for the honored guest. As Vittoria would say, we're all gathered here to celebrate the new additions to our alliance, the Elven Kingdom and Germania. Everybody applauded for the additions of the alliance, as Vittoria would say, and the special guests from beyond our borders, beyond our world as we know it. Let me present to you Viscount Izuku and Viscountess Louise. Their family, although most of you already know Duke Valier, Louise's family, we didn't get the chance to meet Lord Izuku's family, so ladies and gentlemen, I present you Viscount Izuku and his family. Izuku accompanied by Louise and Eri, followed by Louise's parents, Inko and All Might. Majority of the single men were admiring Inko's beauty, and everyone couldn't help but to whisper about how strong All Might is, and which of the two was the strongest, and wondering about the cute little girl with them. Izuku made a speech which made the others join in. The other guests were scared at first, but with Queen Henrietta, Queen Charlotte, and Vittoria assuring them that all was good, they were welcomed. The students and teachers from UA were enjoying themselves with the buffet and beverages. They engaged in small talk with other people. Oyama and Gish were making up stories of them being twins. The girls were getting along with Momoranzi and Kirke, but having to deal with Mineta, flirting with Kirke. Nezu spoke with Osmond, the headmaster of the Magical Academy. The teachers of UA were speaking to the teachers of the Magical Academy. Shoto was eating and minding his own business. All Might and Endeavor were having a glass of wine and discussing by the balconies. Eri was with Louise's sister, Cattleya. Night-Eye was speaking with Queen Henrietta. Inko was discussing with Bidashal about Izuku and how he spared his life. Miro was talking with Sylphide in human form. Duke Valier was engaging with the other noblemen, while Saito and Tifa were waltzing. Louise and Izuku joined the dance floor, waltzing through the night without a care in the world. Katsuki from the sidelines would say, speaking out loud without realizing, damn those two, it seems that they were made for each other. And someone popping in saying, I know, right? Katsuki, visibly surprised, would say, what? Who the hell are you? Oh, me? Did I scare you by any chance? Katsuki, hiding a blush. No, you just surprised me, that's all. Oh well, can't be helped. In any case, my name's Luciana, and what about you? Katsuki, visibly surprised, would say, Katsuki Bakugo, now leave me alone. Luciana would say, oh, you must be the lone wolf type. May I ask for a dance? Katsuki saying, nope, not happening. Now leave. Luciana, chuckling, you can't hide your feelings from me. You see, elves can tell what people are feeling, and you're feeling left out, right? Katsuki, embarrassed, would say, no. Luciana dragging Katsuki, come on, let's have ourselves a dance. Katsuki was dragged to the dance floor by Luciana, and she led the waltz. The evening was about to end, but a loud boom could be heard. An earth golem smashed its fist at the balcony. All Might and Endeavor quickly got the guest away from the area. Nobody got hurt, and a cloaked figure made itself known. As the figure would say, lucky me, as they would be taking their hood off, and would say, if it isn't Gandalf and Miss Valier. Izuku, visibly angry, would say, Fouquet, what are you doing here? And to be continued. So in this case, guys, I hope you liked this part. I know you guys want to edit and continue the other ones. Please take it easy on him. Please don't be an ass. He is working on them. I also have him working on some other stuff since I'm not good at writing. Oh man, the amount of bullshit that comes out of my mouth sometimes. So in this case, dude, try to take it easy on him. Most likely next part would be Reincarnation of Link, or if not, the Dragon Ball one. I'll see which one is potentially I can get up, because I already have the artwork for it, thumbnail wise, and I guess for a background image, I guess. But yeah, please do take it easy on him. I don't pay him, guys. Chill. Stop spamming that you want a certain part for another. What if I just don't want to like overwork him because I don't pay him? And in this case, we kind of do this for fun. Even I do this for fun because I like drawing this stuff. Some of it, not all of it, because if I were to draw every one of these scenes, could basically be doing my own what's it called, my own anime or my own cartoon. But yeah, I'm not that good. But in any case, I hope you like the videos, and yeah, have a good day or have a good night.